How's everyone doing there tonight? This is Undead Nightmare 24, and I'm back with another top 10 uh, Blu-rays from my collection. And tonight I will be discussing my top 10 revenge movies. And this can be horror, action, drama, whatever. It's no category. It's just revenge movies. And I really enjoy these movies. These are gotta be some of my favorite movies to watch. And there is some that I don't have in my collection that are great. So I will not be talking about those ones tonight, so let's get this started, and we'll start with number 10, which is Jennifer Gardner and Peppermint, and this movie is good. I really enjoyed this movie. It has a great storyline, great action, nice kills, and it's basically about a girl who her husband and kid get killed, and it's by like a gang, actually like some kind of gang, and she bows on revenge, kind of disappears. No one hears of her for a while, and then all of a sudden she's back and the gang's getting killed. But, I mean, this movie's great. Had a lot of fun with this one. So at number 10, there's Peppermint. Number 9, we got Death Sentence with Kevin Bacon. And this movie is a good ride, man. It has great gore, great action, a lot of suspense. Man, there's not much more I could say about this. And same director from Saw, so it has that gritty, feel to it. And it's basically about him, also a family man. His son gets gunned down by these hoodlums at a gas station, and kind of lets him walk, and he decides to take the law into his own hands, and man, it takes you on a ride after that. So number 9, there's Death Sentence. Number 8, I have here My Father Die, and this one was a lot of fun. I watched this, I don't know if it was on a streaming network, and I had to buy it, man. This one was a lot of fun. Has that kind of like old school grindhouse feel to it, and great gore, great story. It has that sleaze to it also, and it's basically about a father who does wrong to, I don't want to say too many spoilers, but a father who wrongs his kid pretty much, and ends up killing his brother who he looked up to. And after that, father gets released from prison. Basically has the son. He's grown up now. He's kind of a mute, deaf, like that, and he still holds that grudge till this day when he's older. And his whole motive is to get back at his dad for killing his older brother. And it takes you on a ride, man. You want to talk about some action, gore, great movie. And number 8, My Father Die. Number 7, I have Avenged. This one's a great one too. It's also with a kind of deaf and mute girl going on a road trip across the desert. Ends up, I don't know if she breaks down. I gotta watch this again, or she just ends up pulling over to help these people or something. They end up, man, doing, I can't really say everything, but some outrageous stuff to her, leaving her for dead. And it's like kind of supernatural, kind of comes back as kind of like a ghost and wants to seek her revenge on how they did her wrong. But this one has great gore too. Has a nice chainsaw scene. I don't want to spoil too much, but really enjoyed this movie. So at number 7, I have Avenged. Number 6, we have Revenge. I'm sure a lot of you have seen this movie. It's great gore ride, great blood. The storylines could be better, I admit, but man, it has a great story as well. Basically a guy who goes on a hunting trip with a couple friends, has this girl here as his mistress, and I mean, ends up doing her wrong. One of the friends ends up pretty much taking advantage of her, and it goes from there. He wants to cover it up because he wants to look good. He's a married man, the one who's with her messing around, and after that it just gets wild. Some great kills, gore, great storyline. Really enjoyed this one. So number 6, I have Revenge. Number 5, I have a classic from the 80s, The Legend of Billie Jean. And this movie is fun too, man. Nice revenge story to it. Has a Helen Slater there. She comes through, kind of goes to this guy that owns a shop, and he offers to bribe and bribe her by giving her money. Actually makes like a kind of an assault on her and ends up trying to pay her off, and she won't take it. So he ends up threatening her and sending people after her. She kind of goes on the run, assaults him. The cops are after her as the bad person. Just has a lot of action and fun. A great young Christian Slater in this as well. It's just a great memory from my childhood. So I have this as number 5, Legend of Billie Jean. And at number 4, we have the classic RoboCop. And I can't wait till Arrow releases a release on this. They've been talking about it, so I'm excited to pick this one up. And this is a great revenge story. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you have seen this one before, and it has the story of a cop getting gunned down by some goons and ends up dying. They bring him back to life and put him together as a robot and becomes a super cop, super RoboCop and robot cop, seeking revenge on the ones who wronged him. Starts to get his memory back and remember the guys that did him wrong, and goes after him, putting the law in his own hands. And this is a fun movie. Classic RoboCop. And at number 4. Number 3, I have Savage Streets with Linda Blair. And this movie is on my top revenge movies of all time. It has a great storyline, great villains there, and it has Linda Blair as a badass in this one. And she also has a sister who's kind of like a mute deaf. These guys end up doing some wrongdoings to her, and I mean some assault on her really bad, and can't get into all that, but ends up, I don't know if they end up killing her. I think I gotta watch this again, but she goes on finds out she lost her sister. She goes on a rampage and wants some payback, and it goes from there. The action, the storyline, great 80s feel to it. She ends up on that vigilante side as well, and some payback for her sister. So really like this movie. It's one of my top revenge movies. Savage Streets at number 3. At number 2, we have The Crow with Brandon Lee. And this one's one of my top revenge movies of all time. It has Bruce Lee's son, Brandon Lee. I'm sure a lot of you have seen this one. Great revenge story. Ends up doing some wrongdoings to his wife and him. Ends up killing them both. And there's a crow that gets supernatural strength, brings him back to life. And he's plotted on revenge on all these thugs and drug addicts that killed him and his wife. Ended up doing some more stuff to his wife too. And it's just a great story, great atmosphere, and one heck of a revenge ride. So more can I say about The Crow, man. One of the top revenge movies of all time. At number 2. And number 1, I have Stallone in First Blood, Rambo First Blood. And I mean, I consider this a revenge movie. It's a little more on the action side, but this is probably one of my top action movies of all time. And it tells the story of a military vet just going through a town trying to get something to eat. And I'm sure a lot of you have seen this, know the story. He ends up getting harassed by the cops in that town, and they leave. They end up doing some wrongdoing on him, an arrest and torture, kind of, and he just snaps from his military ways and goes into a mountain, just taking them one by one, man. They mess with the wrong guy on the wrong day, man. And this one has a lot of action, really great storyline, atmosphere, all-time classic. You have Sly Stallone playing the famous John Rambo, and this has got to be my number 1 revenge movie of all time. Stallone and Rambo First Blood. So that's my top 10. I'll do a quick recap of it, so bear with me. At number 10, I have Jennifer Gardner and Peppermint. Number 9, Kevin Bacon and Death Sentence. Number 8, My Father Die. Number 7, Avenged. Number 6, Revenge. Number 5, The Legend of Billie Jean. Number 4, RoboCop. Number 3, Savage Streets. Number 2, The Crow, Brandon Lee. And number 1, Stallone in First Blood. So this is Undead Nightmare 24, and that's my top 10 revenge movies from my collection. And like I'm saying, there's probably other ones out there I don't own that I like, and I just didn't add in because it's just from my collection. So I would appreciate it if you hit a like and subscribe. If you'd like to leave your top 10 below, that'd be cool. I'd like to see them. Or if you want to make a video, please let me know. I'd like to check out your top 10 video revenge movies. So everybody have a good night there. Stay out of trouble and be safe. Peace.